Growing up in a patriarchal family that favored sons, Xia Xiaoman had long been oppressed and exploited by her parents. Trapped in a depressing life, she craved more than anything a warm and stable home of her own. To collect betrothal money for her younger brother's marriage, her parents arranged a blind date for her by force. Her match, Kinyu, did not show up in person. Instead, his parents negotiated on his behalf. They told Xiao Man that Kinyu had served a 3-year prison sentence for involuntary manslaughter while bravely rescuing others out of justifiable defense, and he would soon be released. Along with the explanation, they offered 200,000 yuan as betrothal gifts. Xiao Man's parents were immediately tempted. Desperate to escape her suffocating original family, Xiao Man agreed to the arranged marriage reluctantly. On the day Kinyu was released from prison, the two rushed to register their marriage in a flash wedding. Tall and muscular, Kinyu had a cold appearance with a scar at the corner of his eye, carrying a sense of estrangement due to his prison experience. When registering for marriage, he asked cautiously whether Xiao Man minded his criminal record. Introverted and shy, he was overwhelmed by inferiority and caution. After marriage, they lived in a small one-bedroom apartment, treating each other with excessive formal courtesy. On their wedding night, Ken behaved extremely politely, asking for her permission for every intimate move. After accidentally hurting Xiao Man with his clumsiness, he was consumed by guilt and restraint, growing even more reserved afterward. He bowed and apologized constantly, and his deliberate distance left Xiao Man deeply disappointed. Though reserved, Kinyu was a considerate husband. He took the initiative to cook, do housework and hunt for jobs, caring for Xiao Man's daily life in silence. Yet he never dared to get close to her voluntarily. Dissatisfied with their cold relationship, Xiao Man's boss pointed out that their estrangement was a common problem for flash marriages and shared unconventional relationship concepts with her. One night, Xiao Man attended a party at a private club with her boss and accidentally found Kinyu applying for a security guard position there. At the club, male models treated being slapped as a special interest, which was witnessed by Kinyu. Instead of being jealous or angry, he asked humbly if he could do the same for her, showing no possessiveness at all. To test him, Xiao Man threatened to take a man home, but Kinyu chose to tolerate everything, breaking her heart completely. When leaving the club, Xiao Man saw Kinyu publicly humiliated and insulted by a manager because of his criminal past. Plucking up courage for the first time, she stood up for him and clarified the truth behind his imprisonment. However, trapped by inferiority, Kinyu distanced himself from her in front of others, claiming they were just friends. Heartbroken and drunk, Xiao Man slapped Kinyu when they got home. He made no resistance, only overwhelming sadness. That night, he whispered his gratitude for her protection, cherishing their fragile marriage silently. Xiao Man suddenly recalled a past event. Years ago in college, a senior confessed to her forcibly in public. A tall young man stepped forward to protect her and got his eye burned by sparklers, leaving a permanent scar. That man was exactly Kinyu. Their fate had been intertwined long before they met. The next day, Xiao Man tried to narrow the distance between them with a hug, only to be rejected by his awkward reserve. Confused, she posted online to ask why her husband was overly polite. A netizen named Summer replied that Kinyu suffered from severe inferiority and feared being disliked by her. They interacted online and decided to nurture their relationship slowly. Soon, Kinyu invited her on a date, giving her all his savings and salary card, willing to hand over all his income to her. During the date, Gu Yan, the girl Kinyu had saved years ago, appeared unexpectedly. She had long been in love with Kinyu and offered money to persuade Xiao Man to divorce him. Kinyu refused firmly and made his marital status clear. Through their conversation, Xiao Man learned the full story of Kinyu's tragedy. On the night of a graduation dinner, Gu Yan was harassed by drunk men. Kinyu rushed to save her, but in the chaotic fight, he was accidentally injured by the attacker's knife. resulting in an unintended death. His bright future was ruined, and he was sent to prison for 3 years. Watching Qin express his true emotions freely in front of Gu Yan, Xiao Man felt envious. Contrasted with his cold politeness toward her, a huge gap formed in her heart. To change their relationship, Xiao Man tried to become lively and playful, using jokes and bold hints to break the ice. Qin cooperated passively, gentle and restrained, still waiting for her every instruction and never taking the initiative to show his love. After fleeting ambiguous moments, they returned to a cold and distant life. Later, Xiao Man found that the netizen Summer who had comforted and advised her was none other than Qin. He had fallen in love with her at first sight in high school, admired her in secret for years, and paid silent attention to her life. His brave intervention years ago was the embodiment of his long-hidden love. Qin once invited her to a party with his friends. In front of his close companions, he was cheerful, straightforward and humorous, completely free from restraint. But the moment he saw Xiao Man, he turned shy and inferior again. The stark contrast made Xiao Man realize that their loveless marriage could not last. She calmly proposed a divorce. Qin endured the pain in silence with no intense objection, agreeing to complete the divorce procedures. When preparing to return the 200,000 yuan betrothal gift, Xiao Man discovered that her parents had spent the money on her brother's marriage. They continued to exploit her cruelly, forcing her to sell her private apartment to buy a new car for her brother. Breaking down after long-term suppression, Xiao Man quarreled fiercely with her parents and resolved to cut off their unreasonable control. During her low point, Gu Yan met with her, apologized sincerely and let go of her obsession. Meanwhile, mistaking Xiao Man's divorce request for urgent financial need, Qin worked overtime at a moving company by day and fought illegally in underground boxing matches at night to earn money desperately. Covered in bruises all over his body, Xiao Man tracked down Qin and discovered his secret boxing career. All misunderstandings were cleared. She finally understood that Qin's politeness, timidity and passiveness stemmed from his criminal record, deep inferiority, the fear of being unworthy of her, and the extreme panic of losing her. Qin broke down in tears, pouring out his long secret love and sufferings. He confessed that his passiveness was out of fear, and he could only try his best to work hard and give everything to keep her. He begged humbly not to get divorced. Xiao Man let go of all her grievances and reconciled with him. After making up, Qin finally let go of his restraints, expressing his love and possessiveness directly, and their relationship blossomed with mutual affection. However, her unreasonable parents broke into their home, demanding her house and insulting Qin's prison past. Usually gentle and tolerant, Qin stood firmly to protect Xiao Man and confronted her rude parents. Xiao Man also stopped yielding, standing by her husband to resist her family's moral kidnapping. They drove away her parents and completely broke free from the shackles of their original family. In the end, Qin decided to use his boxing earnings to open a formal moving company for a stable life. Two lonely, sensitive and twisted souls healed and redeemed each other. What began as a forced blind date and flash marriage turned into a deep and sincere love. Qin overcame his inferiority and learned to take the initiative to love Xiao Man, broke free from family oppression and became brave and independent. They abandoned excessive formality and estrangement, loved each other openly, and built warm and peaceful life together for the rest of their days.